goodness. I'm so excited to be here today, everybody. You notice maybe a new backdrop for Sunday Deep Power. I am in the public space, public coffee, and a huge shout out and gratitude to Missy Grice for donating the space to Mosaic Yoga, the teachers of Mosaic Yoga, to be able to stream live from the space, and we're hoping in June to be able to hold socially distanced public classes here. So thank you so much for tuning in. Hopefully you found this class. It's not on my personal page today, it's on the Mosaic Yoga page. And we'll be having more classes this week from some beautiful teachers, so look for a schedule for that. I would love for our theme for our practice this morning to be new beginnings, and using our practice as a way to open us up into whatever might be before us, whatever might be next in our life. And feeling grateful for, again, this new space to practice yoga. And I wanted to open up our practice this morning with a poem that I heard from my beautiful friend Vicki Overfelt. She shared this a couple of weeks ago, and it's a poem by Jan Richardson called How the Light Comes. And so if you'll just take a moment to find your seat on your mat, if you would prefer to lie down at the beginning of our practice, you can work with that as well. I cannot tell you how the light comes. What I know is that it is more ancient than imagining, that it travels across an astounding expanse to reach us, that it loves searching out what is hidden, what is lost, what is forgotten, or in peril, or in pain, that it has a fondness for the body, for finding its way toward flesh, for tracing the edges of form, for shining forth through the eye, the hand, the heart. I cannot tell you how the light comes, but that it does, that it will, that it works its way into the deepest dark that enfolds you. Though it may seem long ages in coming, or arrive in a shape you did not foresee. And so, may we this day turn ourselves toward it. May we lift our faces to let it find us. May we bend our bodies to follow the arc it makes. May we open and open more and open still to the blessed light that comes. Feeling into the presence of your breath this morning. The opening and expansion of the in-breath. And the release and letting go of the out-breath. And in our practice this morning, over and over again, reawakening into the new moment. breath to guide us in this way. So as you draw your next full breath in through the nostrils, will you hold the top of that in-breath for just a moment, holding all the way full, sitting up straight and tall. And then exhaling out the mouth and just allowing it to cleanse and release, letting out a sigh. And again, like that, full breath in through the nostrils, sitting up straight and tall, hold full. And exhale out the mouth, let it release. Good, one more just like that. Full breath in, holding that top of the in-breath, maybe sipping in a little more air, all the way full. And sending that sigh out the mouth, letting it cleanse and release. And then you can move toward your Ujjayi breath, your victorious breath, engaging the muscles at the back of your throat. And starting to breathe in a way that is mindful and deliberate, a little bit of sound with that toning. And then will you start to move a little bit here from side to side, so you can move your spine, your torso, bringing in a little bit of nurturing movement to the body. And in your practice today, can you be willing to explore movement and places in our posture that feel appropriate and nurturing and loving to the body. Feeling into that light. Will you take one more breath here? And then on your next in-breath, let's go ahead and stretch the right arm up alongside the ear, reaching up tall, lengthening through the right side body. And then come up and over into a side bend, placing the left hand on the ground, and lengthening into the right arm, ribs, and shoulder. Good. Take another full breath here. And then on your next in-breath, stretch back up as you inhale. Bend your right elbow. Bring the hand to the upper back. Bring the left hand over to the right elbow. And again, sit up straight and tall. And then a gentle pull over toward that left side. So feeling into the right tricep and shoulder, ribs, and side body. Take one more full breath here. Maybe draw a little deeper into that stretch. And then back up through center. Let the elbow go. Release both arms down. And then send your left arm up. Reach it up, tall, lengthening up. And then up and over into your side bend this direction. So root down through your left sits bone to the floor, lengthening through the side body. Let your head relax. Nice deep side bend here. Good. And then ease back up through center and bend your left elbow. Bring the hand to the upper back in between the shoulder blades. Right hand comes up and over. Hold the left elbow. And then give a gentle pull over toward your right side. So feeling into your left tricep and shoulder and side body. Taking one more full breath. And then ease your way back up. Release. Bring your arms down and your hands behind you. Uncross your legs. Plant your feet to the floor. Pull back through your shoulders. Lift your chest up. And then windshield wiper the knees side to side, starting to bring some movement and opening And range of motion here through the hips and low back. Take one more breath here. Good, and let's go ahead and transition now to the hands and the knees as you come forward, feeling the ground, hands and knees, and start to move through cat-cow. So in your in-breath, open and lift up through the heart, draw up through the tailbone. Exhale, round through the spine, chin to chest. Inhale, open, moving into that spinal extension. And then exhaling into that flexion or rounding of the spine. Do one more like this. Shoulders down and back, heart forward. And then exhale, lift and round. Come back to center, back to neutral. Tuck your toes under. Make your way into downward facing dog. This first downward dog of our practice. Maybe shift your feet a little bit, opening up into calves and hamstrings and backs of your legs. Let your neck go, let your jaw relax. And let's take about 3 to 5 more breaths here in your downward facing dog. And see if you might find a place to arrive, to really land, balancing your effort and your ease. That blend of stira and sukha in your posture. Take one more full breath here. Bend your knees, look forward just a little bit. Let's step or hop forward toward the top of the mat. On your next in-breath, extend your spine, lengthen, halfway lift. Exhale, fold, and bring it in. Let your neck go. Do that one more time, that movement. So inhale, chest and belly lengthen away from the thighs. And then exhale, fold it back in. Feel your feet on the ground, and let's come up to standing. So push down through your feet, stretch up tall through the arms. Maybe a little mini back bend here. And then exhale, hands come together, heart center. Take the arms back up on in-breath, stretch up, lift and lengthen. Exhale takes you forward, forward fold. With a generous bend in your knees, let your neck relax. Flat back as you inhale, lengthen forward, halfway lift. Exhale, fold back in. Come right back up to standing. So following that wave of your breath. Reach up, gaze up, look up, and then hands come back together, heart center. Arms back up on in-breath. Reach and lengthen both sides of the body long, spacious. Exhale, dive forward, folding it in. Uttanasana, forward fold. Flat back on in-breath, lengthen and extend. Plant your hands to the floor this time and make your way to plank, upper push-up position. Hold for a couple of breaths here, feeling into your arm strength and core strength, lifted at the belly. You can always come to the knees or go back to a downward facing dog. Or on your next exhale, lower down slowly, Chaturanga Dandasana. Come all the way down to the belly, point the toes, pull your shoulders back and open to a little mini cobra. Stay here for an extra breath, pulling rib cage and heart forward. And then make your way back to downward facing dog. Hips lift up, heels toward the floor. Your heels may not actually touch the ground, just moving in that direction. Take another giant breath here, a little lift up through your tailbone, bend your knees, look forward, step or hop forward toward your hands. Lengthen, halfway lift on that in-breath. Exhale, fold. Back up to standing. extending on in-breath. So stretch and lengthen up through the arms. Open and reach. Maybe reach back behind you a little bit. And then hands back together, heart center. Arms back up on inhale, stretch up and lengthen. This time, as you exhale, bend your knees sitting into a chair pose, into Katasana. And so take a moment here, feel the feet on the ground, drawing the thighs back. Sit a little bit deeper, extending and lengthening through the arms. Bend your elbows, coming into a goal pose position with your arms. Sit a little bit deeper into that chair and open more through your chest. Follow your breath. And then exhale, arms come down. Clasp the hands behind the back if you're able. Draw back through the shoulders, lift up through your chest. Keep your clasp if you can, and then come into a forward fold. So chest and belly toward your thighs, head down toward the floor. Take 2 more breaths here in your forward fold. Release gently your clasp and bring your hands down to the floor. Extend your spine, coming to halfway lift. Hands down, you can step to plank or float back into your chaturanga. Move through that vinyasa at your own pace. Open it up to your cobra or up dog, and then downward facing dog on the exhale. Your next in-breath, let's take the right leg back behind, stretch it up. And give this a couple of breaths. So keep your hands firmly rooted, your left foot grounded to the floor, strong through your core. See if you can reach the leg back and up another inch or 2. Exhale, pull your right knee in toward your chest, strong through your core. Step it through, low lunge. So bring your left knee down to the floor and extend and lengthen up through the arms. You need some padding underneath that left knee. You can flip over that edge of your mat. Bend your elbows to a goal pose position. And then see if you can keep that core connection, the belly and the ribs pull back. But deepen into the lunge a little bit and turn the heart a little more open. This unfolding. One more huge breath here. And then release and bring your hands back to the floor. Pick up your back knee. Step forward into a standing split. So the left leg will reach up toward the ceiling, toward the sky, and fold a little bit more over your right leg. If a warrior 3 is a better variety for you, you can keep your body, your torso parallel with the floor. Otherwise, you might take the right hand and forearm behind your calf, folding it in. Good. Take another full breath here. Left toes reach up a little higher. And then step it back. Plank pose. Again, your choice. Vinyasa or directly to down dog. So move through that chaturanga if you'd like. And then make your way back to downward facing dog. Pause here. And then lengthen your left leg back behind, reach it up, 3-legged downward dog. Feel both hands on the ground here, strong and steady. And again, right heel, or right foot rather, grounded and stable. And then see if you can take your left leg back and up another inch or 2, finding your edge. Hug your left knee in toward your chest and step your foot through, coming into a low lunge. So the left knee to the floor, right knee to the floor, left foot forward, stretch and lengthen up through the arms. You might get some padding underneath that right knee. And as you deepen into the lunge here, keep your core strong and engaged. Bend your elbows, goalpost the arms, lift up through your chest, and start to lean back a little bit. Take another breath here, and then re-extend the arms, bring the hands back to the floor. Pick up your back knee, and step forward to your standing split. So your left foot anchors down, the right toes reach up, and fold. Feel your breath here, stable and rooted through your left foot. Maybe take the left hand and forearm back behind the calf and fold it in. 2 more breaths here, lengthen and reach. Good, and then go ahead and step back to your plank pose. Pause here in plank. Shift your weight into your right hand. Roll to the outer edge of your right foot and open the left arm up for side plank or Vashisthasana. Push into the ground with your right palm. And let's take the left arm and extend it forward alongside your ear, opening up that side body, maybe picking up your left leg. Good. Take another breath here, you guys. Open the heart. Bring it back, plank, and you're just going to switch sides. So shift your weight onto your left hand, your left palm. Pull the hips up. Extend your right arm up. Reach and lengthen. Use your core. And then let's extend the right arm forward alongside your ear. Reach through the fingertips. Maybe pick up your right leg. Take one more expansive breath here. Bring it back to plank pose. Move through your vinyasa. Stay strong. Open and lift. And then downward facing dog on your exhale. Woo, good job, you guys. Come down to your knees. Set up for dolphin. So elbows and forearms down. Your forearms parallel, about shoulder width apart. You might also choose to clasp your hands here, making more of a tripod. So your head is not on the ground, but relax your head and your neck so you're not looking at the floor, but you're looking rather at your knees right now. Tuck your toes under. Keep your elbows and forearms really reined in so they don't splay out. Pick up your knees, hover for a moment, and then straighten up the legs any degree, any amount. Don't hike your shoulders up toward the ears, pull them down. See if you can wrap your shoulder blades around more toward your armpits. And then you might tiptoe forward just a little bit toward your face. Breathe here. And let's extend the right leg up toward the ceiling into this three-legged dolphin pose. Active through that right leg, reaching up through your toes. Try not to collapse through your shoulders and let your head touch the ground. Take one more breath here. And exhale, release. Right foot down. Send your left leg up. Keep your foundation stable and rooted and anchored. Couple more breaths here, you guys. You can do it. Reach those left toes up like you're trying to touch the ceiling. You had a string attached to that left foot. Left foot back down. Take your feet a little bit wider and take 3 more breaths here in dolphin. You got it. If you came down to your knees, come back up for a couple more breaths. Your last breath here, you guys send your sigh out your mouth. Come on down to your knees. Child's pose. The arms can stretch forward or they can go back along your sides. Take another breath here. Come back up to your hands and your knees. Take the knees a little bit wider this time and stretch your right arm out and up, open through the chest. Thread the needle so that right arm goes underneath your left. Take one more breath here. And then unwind out of that. Send your right arm back out, reach it up. And bring the hand back to the floor. Second side, left arm reaches out and up, open through the chest. And thread the needle. So that left arm underneath your right. Take one more breath here. And then unwind out of that. Send the left arm back out and reach. And bring the hand back to the floor. Reset your hands and make your way back to a downward facing dog. Lifting up through your hips. Let's lengthen the right leg back again. Stretch it up. Long and reaching through the toes. Bend your right leg, lift your hip up. Point your knee out to the side. Go ahead and step your right foot through, coming into a high lunge. So you're going to really push with your back toes and the ball of your back foot. Fire up through the legs, bring your torso upright, and extend and lengthen up through the arms. It's okay to put a little bend in this back knee. But keep the heel really lifted, the back heel really lifted, and the foot active. Take another breath here. On your next exhale, arms will come down, chest and belly toward the right thigh. So put a little bend in your elbows if you like. Squeeze shoulder blades together. And then bring it back to your upright high lunge. That's the inhale. Let's do that again. Exhale. Drop the arms down, extend the arms back, crown forward. Good, back upright, strong and powerful through the legs. This time as you come down and the arms reach back, so you can shift your weight forward onto this right leg, coming into a warrior 3 balance. Sometimes I like to put a little micro bend in my standing leg, shoulders back, active toes, crown forward. Last breath in this balance. Go ahead and step back to your high lunge. Reach and lengthen up through the arms. Bring the right hand to the right thigh. Reach the left arm forward and down toward the floor. Maybe you have a block handy, you could use that. And then push into the ground with your left hand. Send your right arm up for a twisting lunge. Now your back knee can always come down to the floor. Or if you want a little more challenge here, unweight your left hand and bring the elbow over to the right knee for a prayer twist. Let's take 2 more strong breaths here. Inner thighs engaged, strong core, open the chest. Good, and then unwind out of that, walking your hands all the way over toward the left side of the room so your feet are wide and parallel. Take an inhale and lengthen out your spine. And then exhale, fold. 5 deep breaths in Prasarita Padottanasana, this wide straddle forward fold. Take one more breath here. On your next in-breath, lengthen, halfway lift. Anchor the feet, exhale, hands to your hips. Strong core, come all the way up to standing. Turn the right toes forward and bend into your front legs. You're coming into a warrior two position. Extend out through the arms. Breathe here, feel your legs starting to open up a little bit into the hips and the inner thighs. And then we'll turn the right palm up. Stretch your right arm straight up, just alongside your ear. Bend your right elbow. So this is similar to what we did at the very beginning of practice. Bring your left hand over to your right elbow and gently pull back a little bit, opening through the tricep and the side body. Maybe keep it there, or take your left arm down and behind the back and come into archer arms, where we clasp the hands behind the back. Good. So you can choose what variation you want to take here. Take 2 to 3 more breaths, finding a little more space between the right hip and the right shoulder and the right elbow. Last full breath. Unwind out of that, come back up to warrior two. Straighten up your front leg. You might heel toe that back foot forward just a smidge for triangle, Trikanasana. So reach forward with the right arm and the fingertips, bring the right hand down, and extend the left arm up. Now, instead of pressing your right hand on top of the right leg or shin, I want you to try to unweight your right hand and instead place the outer right hand to the inside of the right calf or ankle. So you're using a little more leg strength and core strength to support this posture, and certainly you can use a block as well. Take 2 more huge breaths here. Send your left arm forward alongside the ear for the last breath or 2. Stretch through that side body. Good. And then take both hands down to the floor. One more balance here, half moon. So walk your hands forward a little bit beyond the toes. Float your left leg up. And then extend the left arm and fingertips up toward the ceiling. Balancing your body here on your side. A couple things you could do for an extra challenge. You could look down at the floor and unweight your right hand, bring it to the heart. Or you could bend your top leg, reach back and find the foot, or a half bow. Stay for a couple more breaths here in your balance. And then release out of that. Both hands to the floor, step that left foot to the back of your mat. Now, send your right leg back behind you, reach it up, 3-legged down dog, right leg in the air. Bend your leg, turn and lift your hip. Take your right knee over to touch your left elbow. So a little bit of core here, pull in, tight at the belly. Take the leg back again, reach it up, 3-legged down dog. And then take your right knee over to touch your right elbow or tricep, strong through your core. Take the leg back one more time, reach it up. This time pull your knee all the way through to Pigeon Pose. Send your left leg back. Square off the hips and open through the chest. And then go ahead and come forward into your pigeon. If this version of pigeon does not suit you today, you can recline onto your back and take a figure 4 position like this. And we stay here for about 3 more breaths. If it's helpful, send that sigh out your mouth. Your last exhale, let it release. Make your way back up. Bring your hands to the floor. Tuck those back toes under. Send your right leg back behind you and up. Bend your leg, open the hip. Maybe unweight your right hand and flip your dog over to a 3-legged back bend or wild thing pose. Opening up the heart and reaching the right fingertips toward the front of the room. Take another expansive breath here. Bring it all the way back to your down dog. And then come right down to your knees and upright, to an upright kneeling position. We're going to work with Dastrup or Camel Pose. So you could keep your feet flat to the floor, the toenail side down. I like to tuck my toes under because it keeps my knees and my ankles engaged and protected. And my heels are a little bit closer to my hands in order to reach. So if you happen to have a block, sometimes it's nice to place a block between the thighs to squeeze the block to keep everything kind of reined in and engaged and hugging toward your center. Let's bring the hands to the low back. Fingertips point down toward the glutes. Keep your legs active. Pull your elbows and your shoulder blades toward one another. Push down toward your glutes and lift up through your heart. And just creating some space and some traction. That might be it. Or you can start to lean back a little bit, gazing up at the ceiling. Maybe reaching back to the heels of your feet. Engage through your legs, shoulders back. Draw your hips forward a little bit. See if you might telescope up through your chest toward the sky. Take another full breath here. And then hands to low back for support. Strong legs come back to your upright position. Good. Bring your hands to the floor. Keep your knees underneath your hips. Walk your hands forward for puppy pose. Or Katasana, this heart chakra pose. And some of you might even be able to push your chest toward the floor and look forward. Take 2 more breaths. Make your way back up. And I'd like you to take 3 large circles with your hips going clockwise. Go as slowly as you'd like here, just feeling into those nooks and crannies, pausing anywhere along the way. Good. And then whenever you're ready, let's make our way back to a downward facing dog. Hips lift up, thighs back.
Strong and lifted through your core. Take your left leg back behind you, reach it up. Bend your leg and open up through your hip. Try to stay grounded and anchored through that right foot. Step your left foot through for a high lunge. So your back heel, again, will stay lifted and really strong through that back leg. So it's okay to have a little bend in your back knee. Stretch and lengthen up through the arms. Square off the hips, strong through your core. Take another full breath here. And then as you exhale, arms will come down, chest and belly toward your left thigh. And then inhale back upright into your high lunge. And move at your own pace. Exhale, arms down, root through your back foot. Come back upright, strong and powerful through the legs. Let's do this one more time. And this time, as the arms come back, you're going to try to float that back leg up, finding your way into this balance. Maybe put a little bend in your standing leg. Active through the back toes. Maybe draw your shoulders back, crown forward. Take another breath. And then go ahead and step back to your high lunge. Reach and lengthen back up through the arms. Take your left hand to your left thigh. Stretch through the right arm, and then exhale, bring it forward and down to the floor. Now, push into the ground with your right hand. Take the left arm up for a twisting lunge. Again, the back knee can come down to the floor. Or, for a little extra challenge, squeeze those legs toward midline, connect your core, and weight your right hand. Bring the right elbow over to left knee and come into your prayer twist. Stay in your twisting lunge for 2 more breaths here. And then release and unwind. Walk your hands to the right this time. Spin the feet parallel. Inhale, lengthen. And exhale, fold. Prasarita, Katasana. Maybe this time in your wide straddle, you unweight your hands, clasp the hands behind the back, and draw the hands forward and overhead. Let your neck relax. Strong through your legs and your feet, lifted through your core, but relax through your neck and your jaw. Take 2 more breaths here. Let's release the clasp and bring the hands down. Extend your spine to a halfway lift. Strong through your legs. Bring your hands to your hips and come all the way up to standing. Turn your left toes forward. Bend your left leg, warrior 2. And so take a few breaths here, feeling into your stance, your ground, and a little bit through your hips and inner thighs, shoulders away from the ears. Turn that left palm up, and the left arm will go straight up alongside the ear. Bend your left elbow. Bring the hand to the upper back between the shoulder blades. Right hand to left elbow. And you're going to pull back a little bit. Again, similar to that stretch we did at the beginning of practice. Either keep it here, or take your right arm down behind the back and maybe clasp your hands or arch your arms. So 2 to 3 more breaths here. A little more space in the left side body, left ribs and shoulder. And then come back upright, unwind the arms, straighten up this left leg. Triangle pose. So maybe heel toe that back foot forward just a little bit. Reach forward, left arm and fingertips, left hand down, right arm reaches up. Now, same thing we did on the other side. Feel your legs, feel your feet to the ground. Unweight your left hand so it's not pushing into the top of the leg, but you're going to place the outer left hand to the inside of the left calf or ankle. Good. So take a couple more breaths here. See if you might expand your arms, your wingspan a little bit here. Stretch your right arm forward alongside your ear and reach and lengthen along your right side body. Good, good. Both hands come down to the floor, setting up for half moon. So bend into that front leg, walk your hands forward just a bit, and then open your right arm up. So your body is stacked here on its side. You can either keep it here or to take it up a notch. Maybe you unweight your left hand, bring it to the heart. Good. Or you could bend your right leg, feel for your foot, coming into that half bow. Take one more breath here. Release out of that, let that go, bring the hands down, step the right foot back, the back of the mat. Put the weight into your hands and send your left leg back. Reach up tall, bend your left leg, open through the hip. And then your left knee will come over to touch your right elbow, twisting plank pose. Good, take the leg back, reach it up again, three-legged dog. And then left knee over to your left elbow or tricep. And then back behind you one more time. And this time, pull your knee in and bring your leg all the way through into pigeon. Take a moment here, sit up straight and tall, squaring off the hips. Walk your hands forward, settling into your pigeon. And again, if a figure 4 reclined pigeon would feel better to you today, please do that. Let's take about 3 more breaths here. Slow it down, feel your left hip. If it's helpful, you can send that last sigh out your mouth, let it go. Back, upright, hands to the floor. Tuck your back toes under and send your left leg back, reach it up. Bend your leg, open your hip, and maybe unweight your left hand, flipping your dog over into that 3-legged back bend or wild thing pose. Right shoulder down away from the ear, shoulder blade hugging toward center. Take 2 more breaths here. Good, and then bring it all the way back to down dog. You're welcome to move through a vinyasa here if you'd like. Chaturanga, cobra or up dog, down dog. Good, so come down to your knees. And we're going to do one last camel pose, Dastrasana. So again, feet can be flat, toenail side down, or tucking the toes under. You could hug around a block here. Hands to the low back. Push down toward
Hug shoulders, shoulder blades, and elbows toward one another. Create a little bit of space. Lift up through your chest, through your heart, and lean back some. And you could keep it right here, supporting your low back. Or reach back, find the heels of your feet. That may not be for everybody. So wear the size that fits today. Shift forward a little bit. Lift up through ribs, through heart. Imagine a string attached to your sternum, lifting it straight up. Take 2 more breaths here. Hands support the low back, power through the legs. Even if you don't have a block, imagine squeezing around. And then you're going to bring it down all the way into child's pose. So you could take your knees a little wider, sitting all the way back toward the heels of your feet. Just let your body rest here. Take 1 more breath. Come back up to your hands and your knees. And take 3 large circles going counterclockwise. Okay, so moving in that position toward the left and then back toward your heels, over to the right. Good. And then go ahead and pause here. And I'd love for us to take a moment moving toward an inversion of choice. So anything that turns your body upside down or elevates your hips, your pelvis higher than your heart. So this could be a supported bridge, this could be headstand, handstand, forearm balance. It could even be just taking your legs up the wall in Viparita Karani. Okay, so this will be kind of an open part of our practice. I'm going to go ahead and work with headstand, and maybe I'll talk you through that if anybody wants to work with that, or you can just mute me for a little bit and do your own thing for a couple minutes, okay? And then we'll come back for Shavasana. So headstand, elbows and forearms down. I like to grab a hold of my biceps to place my elbows about shoulder width apart here. Keep the elbows where they are. Clasp the hands, but open up the heels of my hands and palms. So I'm making a basket. And this basket that my hands are making will hold the back of my head in just a moment. So I'm going to place the top of my head on the ground and hold the back of my head with the hands. And as I push the elbows into the floor, pull the shoulders away from the ears, creating that space. Pick up your knees and tiptoe forward toward the face. And as you do that, as you move your hips forward, you'll find that your chest moves away from your chin. And you've got that cervical curve, the back of your neck intact. Hold the back of your head with your hands. Take your left leg up into the air and pull on the back of your head. And as you do that, push your elbows into the floor, engage your core, and it's likely that your right foot will lift up and off of the mat. So you can try that and maybe find your balance, taking the legs all the way up. I like to flex my feet back, but you can point them or Barbie foot them. Finding your way, and you can do this at a wall for sure. Making sure you're in this tripod, so not too much weight on the head. And when you're ready, bring a leg back, the other leg back,
come down to your knees and rest in child's pose. And sometimes after putting weight on the head and the neck like that, I like to put one fist on top of the other, like this, and let the forehead rest on the fist, and let the chin just drop down. It's a nice neck release version of child's pose. So let's go ahead and finish up whatever you've been working on for your inversion. And then let's come onto our backs here. As you make your way onto your back, hug the knees in toward the chest. Rock a little bit side to side. And reach up and grab a hold of the feet for happy baby pose. Put a lengthen your tailbone down, your sacrum down toward the floor. Release your feet, pull your knees in, and drop both knees to your left for a spinal twist. And then the knees come back up through center and over to your right. Take one last breath here. And bring your knees back through center. Stretch your legs out to the floor. Reach and lengthen the arms up and back. And then exhale, let your arms relax down along your sides. And so we'll set up for Shavasana, or corpse pose. If there's anything else that you need in your practice that you'd like to work into, take a moment to work with that. And as you allow your body to settle here into Shavasana, letting your body literally come to ground, come to the earth. And as we settle in here, I'd love to offer again this poem by Jan Richardson. This is called How the Light Comes. I cannot tell you how the light comes. What I know is that it is more ancient than imagining, that it travels across an astounding expanse to reach us, that it loves searching out what is hidden
what is lost, what is forgotten, or in peril, or in pain. That it has a fondness for the body, for finding its way toward flesh, for tracing the edges of form, for shining forth through the eye, the hand, the heart. I cannot tell you how the light comes, but that it does, that it will, that it works its way into the deepest dark that enfolds you. Though it may seem long ages in coming, or arrive in a shape that you did not foresee. And so, may we, this day, turn ourselves toward it. May we lift our faces to let it find us. May we bend our bodies to follow the arc it makes. May we open and open more and open still to the blessed light that comes. Begin to expand your breath here, feeling the body. And you may begin to move and shift as you're ready. Coming over to your side. Way back up to a comfortable seat on your mat. On your next in-breath, extend the arms out wide, reach all the way up, and gather the hands together at your heart center. May we open and open more and open still to the blessed light that comes. Finishing our practice this morning, everybody, with one round of Om. Take a full breath in. Namaste.